Real quickly before I begin, join my Discord, the link's in the description. Enjoy the video. Once you've reached rank 30 or so in Phantom Forces, chances are you'll have a few credits saved up that you don't know what to do with. The natural solution is to choose a gun to pre-buy with those credits. Now, a lot of new players gravitate towards very popular guns such as the HK416, the Honey Badger, the Saiga 12, the AUG A3 pair, the RPK-74, or maybe even the C72 if they're rich enough. Higher ranked players get pretty upset that these guns are pre-bought so often, but I don't think that pre-buying any of these guns is a bad decision if the overall goal is to improve your KDR and rank up faster, while still having a decent bit of fun doing it. All of these weapons are tried and true and see tons of action in the meta, and a lot of them even have 200 kill games, which goes to show how valuable they can be in the hands of a good player. So while I'd like to see a bit more variety in terms of what guns people pre-buy, the guns I just mentioned are by no means a bad choice, especially not compared to some of the other disastrous financial decisions PF players make at around rank 30. This may be one of the most important Phantom Forces videos I ever make, because it applies to so many low rank PF players, many of which might be watching this, but I'll get straight to the point. You shouldn't pre-buy snipers in Phantom Forces. Now, there's a ton of arguments against this, so right off the bat I'll address the biggest one first. If you're pre-buying a gun just for the purpose of having fun with it, then that's fine, good for you. However, the problem with snipers isn't that they aren't a fun weapon class to use. They certainly are, but it's the fact that you already have snipers to fit tons of different playstyles right around the time you consider pre-buying one. Let's go over each of the first 4 snipers you get, and hopefully you'll see why it's redundant to pre-buy the ones after. Let's start off with the Model 700. This is a very basic jack-of-all-trades sniper rifle with generally well-rounded stats. Like most snipers, the Model 700 is capable of a one-shot kill to the torso up to a certain distance, and in this case, it can torso kill up to 86 studs, which is quite generous, especially considering that this rifle doesn't have many downsides. As for what optic you should be putting on it, it's fine to start out with the default scope that comes with the Model 700, but the meta for scopes has shifted as a result of the recent scope update, and putting a medium power optic such as the ACOG scope is generally more desirable even for snipers. Not only does this allow you to spot players more easily, but it frees up your other slot for other attachments, such as removing the stock, which makes the Model 700's already good handling even better. In general, the Model 700 is great for when you want a sniper that can fit any role it needs to without much trouble. The Dragunov SVU is honestly more like a very heavy DMR because it's the only sniper that lacks the ability to one-shot head-all ranges. Despite this, it's a really fun and powerful rifle thanks in large part to its high base damage, at least for how fast it shoots. The SVU's limb damage is the same as the Mosin, and the torso multiplier is exceptionally high as well, so you're guaranteed to kill someone with a quick follow-up shot, even if you miss the head or your target is out of one-tap range. And if your target was breathed on a bit too hard 10 seconds ago, then one shot to the head or the torso from the SVU is game over for them. This thing easily dumpsters on most of the DMR category and competes with the faster sniper rifles as well. So if you're trying to get clean multi-kills, the SVU is probably as good as you're gonna get in the sniper category. The AWS is interesting as it has been buffed a lot in recent updates. Despite its mediocre torso kill range of only 50 studs, this gun is still surprisingly good for more aggressive sniper players. It has a uniquely fast reload for a sniper as well as great bolting speed and decent handling as well. The main reason why this isn't used more often is because the muzzle velocity is lower than other sniper rifles. However, 2500 studs per second isn't near enough to cause problems, and if it's still somehow too hard for you, then you're free to use a ballistics tracker since the AWS has no stock attachments and its scope steady time is already very short, so there's no point using a really high magnification scope on it. The AWS is a very competent weapon for those who want a fast bolt action sniper that doesn't struggle too hard in close quarters combat. Last but certainly not least, we have the Intervention, and I'll just say this right now, especially after the M107's completely pointless nerf from the 9.0.2 update, the Intervention is currently the best sniper in the entire game. Its torso kill range is not infinite, but 150 studs is still more than enough to allow the Intervention to outclass almost every single sniper unlocked after it. This gun also has the highest base muzzle velocity in its class, which synergizes extremely well with its slow, long-range playstyle. I said in my starter guns video that the Intervention is the best rank 0 weapon in the game, and I still hold that opinion. If you're a low rank who just started out, the Intervention is your absolute best tool to fight against more experienced players who would otherwise wipe the floor with you. And this is one of the biggest reasons why you shouldn't pre-buy snipers, because what's the point in doing that when the starter sniper already outclasses nearly its entire weapon class in terms of overall effectiveness and ease of use? Another huge thing to consider is that a lot of the most pre-bought snipers are unbelievably mid. Take the Mosin for instance. It's got fast handling and a high rate of fire, but that's all it has. No torso kill range to make up for the fact that other snipers are even faster than the Mosin. If you want a fast sniper, then just use the Scout if you're daring enough, but in my opinion you should stick to the AWS and the SVU, as you aren't spending absurd amounts of money on them, and they each offer very significant advantages that the Mosin just doesn't have. And I don't think I need to tell you why the BFG is mid. While it's still the best sniper for targeting specific players, this utility is not worth pre-buying the weapon for, especially since you can find so many BFGs on the ground that will do the job just fine. Oh, and I forgot to mention this in the script, but don't buy the Hecate either. Use the intervention. Get good and hit headshots. The last gun worth mentioning is the NTW. Now this might seem like an insanely bold take, but in my opinion, if there's any sniper you should even consider pre-buying, it should be the NTW. It's one of the worst snipers in the entire game from a KDR standpoint, but being able to kill someone through the entire map is an indispensable asset on CTF, and it's honestly just a fun as hell weapon to use. It's big, it's silly, it pisses people off, and it cheeses the heck out of an entire game mode, so if you have to buy a sniper, buy the NTW, as it fills a niche that no other sniper can come anywhere close to filling. But why am I singling out snipers in particular? Why are snipers so much worse than autos? Well, it all comes down to how PF's mechanics favor certain weapon classes. You've got automatic weapons with actually non-existent spread. You've got shotguns that can insta-kill up to 100 studs with no effort. But the biggest reason why I don't think snipers are as good as other weapons is that autos simply outperform snipers in most areas. The only sniper that has a 200 kill game is the SVU, which is barely a sniper to begin with, is unlocked at way too early of a rank for there would be any reason to pre-buy it, and the 201 kill game was done by someone who has been banned 3 times for cheating. The Scout also has a 161 kill record, but that was done by Oscar, who is widely considered to be one of the most skilled PF players, so unless you're as good as he is at the game, you won't be getting 161 kills with the Scout anytime soon. And to be honest, pre-buying snipers won't really help you improve. If you want to become a sniper main, then fuck you! You'll improve by just practicing with guns like the AWS or the Model 700, as they're decently fast and have lower muzzle velocity, which should help you learn bullet drop a bit easier. If you're trying to perform well with the sniper, the intervention and the SVU are incredibly strong low-rank snipers that have stood the test of time and are relatively easy to do well with. So, at this point, there's not much of a reason to pre-buy any sniper except for maybe the NTW. And honestly, I'm kinda tired of seeing these so-called free thinkers pre-buy the Mosin every single time. So I highly recommend that you look into pre-buying an auto that you think will be both fun and viable in the long term. So, with all that being said, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye.